stage. This is my third panel today, but it feels like my first one because there's so much to cover. And when we were talking backstage, Kfir, you were saying, I've already said enough on crypto specifically, or crypto prices, and that's great because I want to talk about regulation. I want to talk about AI. I want to talk about what BlackRock's doing, $10 trillion under management in terms of assets. I'll start with the European Union because they kind of caught the headline with the big regulatory framework that they passed. What is your interpretation of this legal framework, and does it set the right kind of standard for the rest of the world?
First of all, this is my second panel now, and this is kind of more into the areas that I'm very focused nowadays. And European Union, I think they are kind of a leader in that. I think they are going to lead in this together, maybe with some countries in Asia, between I don't know, Singapore, maybe Dubai will jump after that. US, they are going to get more later into that for a lot of reasons, and mostly because of complexity. We see the European Union direction in that as important. We try to implement as much as possible. We're looking at all the legal implications on that and how this is impacting everything that we're doing and that we want to do. So yes, we're paying very much attention to that. And we're actually, we're welcoming this kind of directions. We think that they are very important from the fiduciary, part where we're looking at, from the fiduciary point of view, we think that's very good for us and for our clients.
When you speak to clients, when you speak to policymakers, do you see a movement towards alignment or fragmentation when it comes to sort of regulating in different parts of the world?
I think overall, we believe that clients, they want to see, order. They worry about this particular area. How are you going to manage my portfolio? How exactly are you doing that? And we are always very careful with that. When we started introducing this kind of technologies, it's going to the same model committees, which they are very thorough, very annoying by design. And, right now, when I'm going into this new, AI risk committee, I'm sitting on that, and we are changing continuously based on what we see that is happening into the regulatory, horizon, and also always with the client in mind. So I think, it's a work in progress. It's very difficult to make any kind of harsh statement of that because it's all in the build right now, as we speak.
How about the competition between China and the United States? I don't envy your position because you are involved in both markets to a large extent, and you probably have to walk a very fine line. And I also appreciate that there are certain conversations you're not going to be sharing on stage with us, but to what extent is this sort of AI Cold War kind of coming up on your front desk, as it were?
We are trying to be a citizen of the place that we're doing business in. So we are Chinese in China, and we are Americans in America. And the political things and all the constraints that we're getting in the countries that we're doing business, these are constraints that we need to work with them. I will not say more than that because I think it will not be right, but that's kind of our approach. We are citizens of the place that we're doing business in.
How does sort of Dubai rank in your global read of providing guardrails for AI? I mean, clearly there needs to be a little bit of breathing room. You don't want to over-regulate, but you also don't want to under-regulate. And that's quite a tricky one to kind of find that spot. But how would you characterize that?
So I think, I think this morning, people discuss here the innovative approach of the DIFC and Dubai in general. And the way that I'm thinking about it is that, Dubai in this region in particular will play a very important role in AI. And, there is a huge interest to understand, first of all, the stack. The stack of AI, when you look into where it starts with areas that they have a lot of opportunities for this region. So therefore, you want to think about, how to build as much as possible from this stack here in the region. And then, I think Dubai currently, from my reading, it's playing in both edges of the vertical very, very well. From one hand, trying to attract the core infrastructure of AI to the region, and has a lot of potential of doing that. It's in parallel to other direction that Dubai is going from the point of view of energy and green energy, and how to basically feed multi-gigawatt facilities of data centers. And from the other hand, all this innovation that, people are saying that AI belongs to the large companies. And, we are not a large company when it comes to technology, depending how you want to look at the financial technology. Yes, we are.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's pretty modest coming from BlackRock.
But the way that I'm reading this is as follows. I think, and that's part of my job nowadays, we cannot run fast enough with AI as AI runs. So therefore, we need to tap into knowledge of startups, and they cannot run fast enough because they don't have data, they don't have access, they don't have knowledge. If you're looking into structures of AI companies nowadays, a lot of them, they have the same type of structure. They tap to a certain data set with a little bit of RAG, hitting an LLM, and then you have some knowledge from a bunch of guys and girls that they work in some department in one of the large firms, and right now they are putting this knowledge on top of that same technology stack, and you have another company, something you're finding, 1,000 companies doing HR with AI, right? 1,000 companies doing legal with AI. So Dubai, when you're having all these thousands of companies and startups that they are attracting on the upper part of the stack, it's a very smart move, because this type of companies, they will work together with the large companies in order to accelerate them. So you bring them both sides of the stack.
That's the key point around democratization of AI, which I know you've been very vocal on.
Yeah.
Is there any way that you can quantify the multiplier effect this is going to have in terms of economic momentum, in terms of expansion in the space, in terms of breakthroughs in the technology itself?
Well, funny enough, I do have some metrics. I'm looking into that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And, in the metric, it's kind of an opportunity metric. So if you're looking currently into the equity markets, something like $117 trillion, about maybe 10% or 15% of that, it's growth, disruptive companies. Disruptive companies that they grow, say, at the rate of over 40%. Now, with AI, because of AI, I really don't like to talk about anything that is going over 2 years from now. But, you know, sometimes you're getting pushed, and, and people, they ask you to look into more than 2 years from now. So I invite you to think about 2030. And if you think about 2030, you're going to see the same market that today it's $117 trillion becoming $360 trillion. Wow. Out of the $360 trillion, 240 of this $240 trillion, they are going to be companies that they are defined by growth, and 120 are going to be companies that they were just floating at the 3% or so trajectory of growth. So my question to you, what part of companies would you like to be part of? The ones that they are growing at 3% or the ones growing over 40%? Yeah. And the number one, you know, the number one catalyst for this kind of companies and growth, it's AI.
Okay.
So now you understand where I'm going with this?
That does give me quite a bit of a better sense of the numbers in play. In terms of the product set that BlackRock offers, again, you're the Chief Innovation Officer. You bring a lot of fresh thinking to a space that is in turmoil, that is constantly evolving. What are some of the products that you're getting excited about from the BlackRock side that you say, okay, we're going to roll this out within the next year, we're going to roll this out within the next 18 months, maybe a little bit further out?
Well, certainly I'm not going to make product announcements here, but
no pressure.
You know, it's in all areas. If you're thinking about it, you know, our Aladdin platform, you know, companies that they are running tens of billions of dollars and north of that, they sit on that platform. And on that platform, we are continuous running innovation there. And I think the biggest things that we are working on are, you know, I am always fascinated in trying to mimic the work of a chief investment officer in a company like this. So that chief investment officer is coming in the morning, it's taking our risk packages of all the securities in the world that they are touching with, and then they want to mix it with some kind of data that is their private data and stuff. We need to be able to allow that. They want after that to run all kinds of analytics on that outside of the platform if they want to, or inside the platform if they want to. I need to allow that. Then, after they make their decisions, they need to go back and put their trades into our systems. I need to allow this trading. I need to allow the post-trading on that. So all this ecosystem of the chief investment officer in one of our clients, which again, these are companies that they are the largest companies in the world, some of them here in Dubai. And when we're doing this, the products and the innovation must come into this ecosystem. So what I just said, it means that you need to be there with better analytics. You need to be there with the better capabilities to touch the data, that everybody has different opinion on what is the right data for them. Sometimes, you know, people just, they like to beat deadwood data because they don't understand one source. And nowadays, that's one of the biggest problems, right?
It can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
Just as you kind of move through all of that, what is the biggest risk for you right now? I mean, it doesn't appear to be necessarily who's running the White House, but the secondary set of effects is really about how it all comes together and how that kind of clouds your ability to move globally.
Yeah, so, you know, the risk nowadays is, I think in the morning I say something like the risk is not taking the risk. It's about not taking this opportunity. I think the biggest risk, you know, I think Peter Diamandis, he said something like, you know, in a couple of years, there are going to be two types of companies, the one that they are fully adopt AI and the one that they are out of business. So that's the risk, you know. You need to go there. And we have a dilemma, right? There used to be this professor at Harvard, George Solow, and he had the Solow paradox. was related to effectiveness at work and productivity. And he said, look, when we move from the agricultural times to industrial times, we had something like 50 to 100% improvement, depending what area you want to look, in people's productivity. We moved from industrial times to technology and digital technology. And not only did the productivity did not go up, it actually went down. For the first time, we have an opportunity right now with AI to turn this around. And we see these things coming around. And I want people to pay attention to that. It's not about this, you're more, with copilots, you're more efficient by 40% writing code. That's not the real efficiency. People are getting blinded by that. And I also have a problem with the 40%, but I can explain. But the story, it's about when you're going to have a total different, worker for you, that it's an AI worker writing code that writes for you, that is totally autonomous.
So this is us breaking out of the Python notebooks and creating completely independent programmers that are able to input with English language rather than having to know
it's the English language, which it became the new coding language. That's one thing for augmented work. But I'm talking about capabilities that they are total autonomous, like Devin.ai, where basically you see an AI instant that runs their own coding environment, and they run autonomous and giving you a product based on what you decided on that. So copilots, it's an in-between. There is going to be, a totally autonomous stage starting, I don't know, maybe GPT-5 and north of that. I assume we'll be seeing that a little bit more. You're going to see people working for you guys. You're going to look into your org chart, and you're going to have maybe 5 AI instances working for you, and they will be productive and generating for you output the way that Joe and Joanna are doing that for you today.
How many people in the audience use ChatGPT? If you could raise your hand.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
But when we get to ChatGPT 5 or other derivatives of that, whatever they may become or be, doesn't that scare you just a little bit? That maybe, because we're talking about AI guardrails, right? So what if start losing control?
Look, for those of you who want to deal with that philosophically, I invite you to look into, I think it was the offline discussion between Yuval Noah Harari, a historian, and Yann LeCun, one of the best AI people in the world today of Meta. And, I don't want to tell you where I'm tending that was the winner of the discussion, but it's a very good discussion. Definitely it's, you see people like Elon Musk taking a different approach every couple of months, and he's a very smart guy. He might have a good opinion about where is this going. I spoke with, with Jensen Huang. We speak with Sam Altman. You're speaking with everybody, and each one of them, they tell you, a little bit different story. Don't worry about it. It's definitely, it can be worrying if it is used in the wrong way, no doubt about
that's
that.
not comforting to hear that everybody has a different view. That shows that's yet to be determined whether.
Yeah, but we live a reality, my friend.
True, fair
it is, when Guardrail, when I find for the first time that when I'm sending data to an LLM, any kind of embedding that somebody can touch it in the middle, it was quite a scary thing for me. You get scared by things, then you take actions in order to deal with this kind of risks. With AI, there is a lot of risk, there is a lot of opportunity, and we need to be smart. And financial markets, people working in finance and financial technology, they are among the most advanced people in technology. So we're going to find solutions, and we're going to create safety and guardrails around these things. And this is why, I'm looking forward for more countries and governments to govern this kind of operations in smart ways that make sense for the places that they are running their business. Because that's the only way to adopt it and take advantage of all this. Otherwise, what are we doing here? But I think that, the opportunities are here, and people, they need to go and try it, and everybody in the room needs to try, anything to do with AI nowadays, because we don't have a choice.
That's a fantastic note to end our panel on. Thank you, Kfir, and thank you, the audience, and see you shortly.